Hey, welcome back and Happy New Year. This will be my first tutorial of the year. I'm excited about it. I created this look using mostly drugstore products. So without further ado, let's get started. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. Mine was wonderful, spent with family and just giving and receiving a lot of gifts. So I hope you all had a similar experience and enjoyed the holidays. I got a few new products that I received as gifts. One in particular that I am excited about is the Silk Foundation Elixir from Physicians Formula. It's their organic wear line, and all the products that I will be using today are 100% natural, conscious beauty products, mostly their drugstore, but there's going to be a couple that are still organic to natural products that I will be using that I don't really have on hand that are drugstore. As a primer today, I'm going to be using the Hydrating Poreless Primer from My Minerals. I've already washed my face. I used this nice toner before applying this hydrating primer. It's always good to use a primer before laying on your foundation. Just really helps hydrate the skin and prep it. Now for my foundation, I'll be using the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Silk Foundation Elixir. It is in the shade light to medium. And the shade actually matches my skin tone perfectly. So it's nice to get that on the first try. And it comes out in this little dispenser here, and a little goes a long way. I only need just a little bit, and I'm going to put some of that on the back of my hand here. And as you can see, it's a very emollient and thin formula, and I've only put this on one other time than today, and it really goes on so nicely. I really like how it applies to the skin. I only used one little dropper the first time I used it. I might need a little bit more today, we'll see, because you can fill the dropper full more and sometimes less, so I probably just had a little bit more with that first application that I did. So I'm just going to go ahead and add just a little bit more here. So I need a little additional coverage here on my nose. And to blend this out, I'll be using my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. And this formula really is true to its name. It has like this really silky application. The formula goes on really smooth, and it just has this skin-like texture to it. I really, really like it. And making sure to blend down the neck just a little bit here at the jawline and hairline, of course. Then for bronzer today, I'll be using my Physicians Formula Organic Wear Sculpting Bronzer in the shade Toffee here. It is a nice neutral shade, and I use this one a lot. I use a lot of my favorite products in these videos, not only because they're my favorite products, but it's because they are, again, the all-natural to organic products, and they just are so good for the skin. This one in particular has jojoba oil in it, and every time I wear it, it just really just makes my skin feel so good. I wear it all day long. It lasts. It's just a beautiful finish to it, and it applies smoothly and just really easily. and I'm applying it with my Real Techniques stippling brush. This is a great brush for cream products. This is a cream stick, and I am just taking the stick and with my brush over the top of it, and then applying this to the high points of my face. So I'm getting my forehead and the sides of my forehead, and then of course the hollow points of my cheeks here. And then with a smaller angle brush here, doesn't technically have a name, I got it in a brush set from My Minerals. I'm going to take some of my bronzer and then run this down the sides of my nose here, just to add a little bit of contour. Here on the other side as well. And a little bit here on the tip of my nose, just on the under part. Just add some definition. And a little bit underneath my bottom lip. Just a little bit. It's a tip if you want to have your lips look a little bit fuller. It kind of casts a little bit of a shadow. And then taking my stippling brush again, I'm going to just kind of run it over the areas to blend that bronzer out that I put on the sides of my nose here. Make sure we don't have any harsh lines. Before I put on my blush and highlighter, I'm going to go ahead and put some concealer on my eyes here and set it so it preps it for my eyeshadow that I'll be using today. And go ahead and do the eyes first. And the concealer I am using today is the Burt's Bees concealer in the shade Light Medium. Add and blend this in with my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. And then to set this concealer, I'm going to use the Burt's Bees Mattifying Powder Foundation. And it is in the shade Bamboo. I'm going to lightly tap that and run this over my concealer to kind of set that, give a little extra coverage. And then also so it's not as tacky, so that my eyeshadow will kind of lay down a little nicer and not crease as much. And the eyeshadow palette I will be using today is a Burt's Bees one. It's in Blooming Desert. I've used this a couple of different times. It's the only one I have that's drugstore, actually. I'm going to try and remedy that. But for now, this is what I've got. And it's these 3 shades here. It has a lighter shade, kind of like a more medium copper shade, and then the darkest shade here at the bottom. And I will be starting out with the darkest shade here in the palette using my Eco Tools blend side of this dual-sided brush. I'm going to work this into my crease. It does take a little bit to build it up, but not too much. And I'm not going to go really dark with it. I did play with this palette a little bit the other day and kind of did the same look that I'm going to do today. So I've got a pretty good idea of what I'm going for. And doing the same thing here on this side, working this same color into my crease. And then with my shading brush, I'm going to take a little bit of that same darker shade from my palette here and run it underneath my eye. And making sure to connect the shadows at the outer corners of my eyes here so they come together seamlessly. And with a medium shadow brush, I'm going to take this shade here, my palette, and go ahead and run that all over my lid. And here on the other side as well. Just applying this all over my lid. This brush is great for that. It's not too small and not too big. Lays down the product nicely. And then with the lightest shade in my palette here, I'm going to highlight my brow bone using an e.l.f. blending eye brush. I'll apply this here. And this not only will highlight my brow bone, but it will also serve as like a blending shade with the other right here at the top of my brow bone, just to help blend those two shades together. I've got to say, these palettes are nice. With the 3 shades in it, you can create a nice eyeshadow look with it, and it's also nice and compact. So if you're traveling and just want to put it in your bag, it's a nice little compact eyeshadow palette to take along with you. The next step I will be doing is adding some eyeliner. This one is from Hippie Chic Cosmetics. It is not drugstore, however, they do have affordable prices. I will have all the links below to any product that I'm using today. If you would like to check those out, I will have those available for each and every one that I use today. And this one is just a really nice brown. It's the shade Absolute Brown. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the upper and lower lash line. I'm just taking the eyeliner and just running it about halfway. So right at like the iris of my eye on the lower lash line, and then just slightly over with the top lash line. I do the same thing here on the other eye. I've got my eyeliner applied. I'm going to use the darkest shade in the palette here to go over the eyeliner, and using the smudge side of my Eco Tools brush here. Just going to pick a little bit of that up and run it over the top of my eyeliner. It just kind of serves as a nice blend and just smudges that eyeliner out a bit as well. And here on the lower lash line. And now for mascara, I'm going to use the Burt's Bees Nourishing Mascara. It's 100% all natural mascara. The shade is black brown, and I actually got this one as a gift, and this will be the first time that I'm using it. The wand looks like this. Go ahead and apply some of this here. Now that I've got my mascara applied, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more concealer underneath my eyes just to clean things up a bit. Using the same Burt's Bees concealer. Add a little bit here and here under the other eye, and then blend it out with my finger. And here on the other side as well. Then taking my finger and just swiping it upwards here at the outer edge of my eyeshadow, just to clean that up and make sure that it goes upwards nicely. And then taking my setting brush and dipping it into that mattifying powder once again, tapping off the excess, and then setting this concealer under my eye. Also on the other side. Moving on to blush, I will be using a Burt's Bees blush today, and it is in the shade Shy Pink. It's this really pretty pinky color. I really like it. It goes on nicely and it just gives this fresh flush to the cheeks. I really like it. I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush and go ahead and apply this here to my cheeks. It's just this beautiful rosy color. It just makes such a difference, as you can see from this side to the other. It just livens up the face. I just think it's a beautiful shade. And then taking just what's left on my brush, I like to run it up here on my forehead a little bit, along the sides. So all the way across the top of the forehead. Just helps tie everything in. I like to take a little bit and run it just here, the top of my nose as well, just to help tie everything in together. And what I've been doing a little differently as of late is what I'll do is I'll wait to do the blush step. So especially when I'm wearing liquid foundation, it's a powder. So when I put the powder over the top, it just gives a nice finish. So I don't need to put any additional setting powder over the top of it. This wears really nice throughout the day. So I've been kind of implementing that step when applying blush over a liquid foundation. And then I've also been waiting to do my highlighter till after I conceal my under eye area. And what that does is it just keeps the highlighter like nice and the application where I want it, versus doing it first and then having the concealer cover up some of that highlighter that I put down and want to stay there. Today I will be using the Physicians Formula Dewy highlighter. It's also in their organic wear line. I do have this cream stick in the shade Honeydew. However, this is my new one. It was a Christmas gift, and it is in the shade Dew Frost. So it's really a lot lighter than the Honeydew, as in a lot more white, and it's shinier. I really like both formulas. The other is just more pinky toned, and I've used that one a lot. I enjoy both formulas. Highly recommend these cream highlighter sticks should you want an affordable highlighter that's compact and versatile. So taking my stippling brush again, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this highlighter right off the top of the stick. And then I'm going to be adding this to the tops of my cheekbones here. Here on the other side. And with what's left on my brush, I just go ahead and add a little bit to my forehead here, Just right above the brow there, and then a little bit on my chin. And then I go ahead and add a little bit more to my brush and then run it down the center of my nose, and also on the tip of my nose, and Cupid's bow. And anywhere where I want a little bit extra highlight, I go ahead and take my finger and run it over the stick. And then I usually like to add just a little bit more on my Cupid's bow and on the tip of my nose here. And a little bit on the bridge. And just blend that out a little bit once more. I'm also going to use my highlighter to highlight the inner corner of my eye. So again, using my e.l.f. blending eye brush, just going to take a little bit of that right off the top of my stick and add some here in my inner corner. And here on the other side as well. Just help brighten things up. I think it's pretty. Moving on to the brows, I am going to take a little bit of that darkest shade in my Burt's Bees palette there and run a little bit of that through this first part of my brows here, just to kind of darken that up and tie in the brows with my eyeshadow there. It's kind of nice to have a slightly monochromatic moment there with the brows and the eyes. One of my favorite things to do is use products for other areas of the face. I really love a versatile product, and anytime I can utilize that with my products, it just makes me happy. So I like doing it, and that way anytime you need to consolidate your makeup, you have a nice versatile product that can be used for more than just one thing. I think it's fascinating how many ways you can use one product. And then over the top of that, I will be using a brow gel. It's a Physicians Formula Organic Wear Brow Shaping Gel in the shade Soft Brown. It is one of my go-tos for when I just need to quickly apply some brow product. It works great. It is a little bit more of a liquidy formula, so when I'm in a rush and I need to do it even quicker, I use their clear formula. It works fantastic. I have both, and depending on how much time I have, I grab for one or the other. I'm just going to go ahead and brush my brows up here with my dual-sided e.l.f. brush. It has a spoolie on one end and the little angle brush on the other. Handy little tool. And here's what the wand looks like for my brow gel. And I'm just going to go ahead and brush this through my brows. And then to finish this look, I will be adding some Burt's Bees Lip Crayon. It is in the shade Niagara Overlook. It's this really pretty pink shade. Go ahead and add some of this. It's a matte finish. And then over the top of that, I'll be using another Burt's Bees product. It is a liquid lipstick in the shade Coral Cove. And it looks like this. Comes with this little doe foot wand. Haven't used this one for a while. And here's the finished look. I really like how it turned out. It's just this really pretty look that comes together with all the warm tones and just a little brighter pink lip. And it has the great highlight and the dewy finish. You can certainly add a little bit more of the mattifying powder in any areas. I didn't today because it just really wasn't necessary for my skin at this point. I hope you all enjoyed following along as I created this look. Again, it's mostly drugstore products. Everything is all natural to organic. That's my jam. That's what I like to put on my skin, and it just always leaves it feeling good and healthy. And whenever I wear these products throughout the day, it just feels nourishing. I really just prefer all of my products to be all natural to organic because my focus is on conscious beauty, regardless of the product, skincare or makeup. It's just what my preference is and what I focus on. So I hope you guys all enjoy and can gain some tips and tricks throughout the process and some ideas on what you might want to use in your makeup routine, skincare routine, and maybe implement some of the more conscious, clean beauty products if that is something you're interested in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for joining me on my first video of the year. Happy New Year to you all. Until next time, take care. Bye.